Mrs. Dicke's announcement marked the beginning of a new academic session at Success Academy. After the announcement, the students flooded the corridors, locating their different classes. Benny and her friends reclaimed their notorious reputation as school bullies. One would have thought that since they were now in the senior secondary, they would change their behavior, but instead, they got worse than before. Aside from the fact that Benny was proud and a bully, she was very intelligent. She had always been the star of the class by sweeping the first position, but not until Karen happened. Karen got admitted into the school in JSS2, and since then she had comfortably overtaken Benny's position, such that by the end of every term, their classmates would confidently guess Karen to come first again, even before the results were out, and they were never wrong. Karen did so excellently that she earned her teachers' admiration and representation in competitions. However, Benny's pride and insecurity fueled her animosity toward Karen. Benny began to see Karen as her worst enemy and competitor. She always had negative things to say about Karen, and she did not hesitate to make fun of her all the time in the class, but Karen was not bothered. Karen was always very cheerful, friendly, and very active in class. She was conversant with all the subjects and would always answer questions correctly in class. The whole school was proud of her. But when the new term commenced, there were changes in Karen's behavior, but no one noticed. She started withdrawing from her friends and stopped being active in class. Most times, she would forget to do her homework and ended up being flogged, which was something that had never happened before. This made Benny happy. She felt like she had finally put Karen where she was supposed to be. Soon, Karen started sleeping in class, which was something she had never done before. Rather than observing that something awkward was happening to her, the teachers began to punish and condemn her for misbehaving. Soon, Karen started staying back in school after everyone had left. She would rest her head on her table and sleep till she was satisfied before she would sluggishly go home. One afternoon, after school had closed, Karen, as usual, stayed back in the classroom and was resting her head on her table when someone walked in and pushed her roughly. She lifted her head and was not surprised when she saw that it was Benny. "What do you want, Benny?" Karen asked. Her eyes were red as though she had been crying. "Yo, why are you still in school? As much as I dislike you, I've noticed that you've been acting strangely these days, but what do I care?" "Go on, Ben, go on," she said. It's so awkward that the teachers who noticed how good I was never noticed how drawn I've suddenly become. It's only you who has noticed. What do you want, Benny? Leave me alone, Karen said, and tears began to run down her cheeks. Benny showed a part of her that Karen had never seen. "Karen, what is it? Why are you crying?" Benny said, holding Karen. "Geez, Karen, your temperature is high. You are hot. What is wrong?" Benny asked, looking seriously concerned. "When I did so well in school, everyone praised and wanted to be friends with me. But when I suddenly deteriorated academically, no one wanted to know why. The same teachers who praised me when I did well are condemning and punishing me now because I'm not doing well anymore. They don't care to at least know what has been going on with me. They are only concerned about how perfect they want me to be. And you are always bullying me, not caring if I feel hurt or not, not caring what I'm going through. I'm just tired. I'm tired." "Benny, could you please leave me alone?" Karen asked. Benny did what Karen never thought she would do. She hugged Karen and began to cry too. Oh, I'm so sorry, Karen. I don't hate you. As a matter of fact, I'm your number one fan. I just envy you. I do all I do because I cannot be like you. You're too good, too intelligent. I'm just wondering what suddenly happened to you. I've noticed that recently you've been acting differently, and I've been curious to know if all is well. Honestly, I'm a good person, Karen. I've always admired and wished to be like you. Karen cried even the more. Would you still wish to be like me if I told you that my father had been forcefully sleeping with me and threatening to kill me if I tell anyone? Would you still wish to be like me, Benny, if I told you that I'm pregnant for my father and he wants me to abort the pregnancy this evening and I might not survive it because this is the second time I'm about to abort this baby? Would you still wish to be like me, Benny? Karen asked, sobbing even more. Benny was speechless. She hugged Karen for a long time and they both cried like babies. But Benny knew that she needed to be strong if she must help Karen. Benny took Karen to her house and told her mother, who was an attorney, all that Karen had told her. Immediately, Benny's mother made some calls, and that evening, Karen's father was arrested. After much drilling, he confessed to raping and threatening his only daughter, Karen. He was charged and sent to prison, while Benny and her mother took care of Karen till the birth of her child. Karen later went back to school and completed her education. Benny became her best friend and never bullied anyone again. The end.